Dr. Lena Core adjusted her visor and stepped carefully through the soft, glowing grass of Virelia 9. The planet was unlike anything she had ever seen. Its sky was a pale lavender, with two suns casting shifting shadows across rolling fields of luminescent plants. She had come here to study alien flora, but today, something unusual caught her eye. A figure lay motionless in the distance. At first, Lena thought it was a mannequin or a fallen branch, but as she drew closer, her heart skipped a beat. It was a man, a human man, and he was completely exposed, lying on the strange grass without any shelter or protection. Who could leave someone here? Lena whispered to herself, approaching cautiously. The ground was soft, and each step made the glowing plants shimmer like 1,000 tiny lights. She noticed the man's face, pale, eyes closed, chest rising and falling slowly. He seemed alive but unconscious. Lena's mind raced. Virelia 9 was known for its unpredictable wildlife. Some creatures were harmless, others could kill in moments. She couldn't just leave him here. But helping him could be dangerous too. She scanned the area quickly. The land was quiet, but silence on an alien world could be deceiving. Taking a deep breath, Lena knelt beside him. "Hello, can you hear me?" she said, gently shaking his shoulder. The man didn't respond. She checked for a pulse. It was weak but steady. He was alive, and he needed help. Lena scanned her surroundings again. No creatures appeared. She decided to carry him to her research pod, a small shelter about 1 kilometer away. The pod was designed for one person, but it could temporarily hold two if needed. She adjusted the straps of her pack and lifted him carefully. He was heavier than she expected, but she managed to move him without dropping him. Inside the pod, Lena laid him down on a reinforced bed. She began monitoring his vital signs using her portable scanner. His pulse was stable, but his oxygen level was low. As she examined him further, her scanner beeped in surprise. His DNA showed subtle differences from standard human patterns, tiny modifications almost imperceptible. This isn't ordinary," she murmured. Someone must have experimented on him. The thought made her uneasy. Who would do this? Why would anyone leave him exposed on such a dangerous planet? And why had she found him alone? Lena carefully wrapped him in a thermal blanket from her emergency kit. The glowing plants outside pulsed softly, as if sensing the presence of life inside the pod. Hours passed. Lena monitored him, hoping he would wake. She prepared a nutrient drink and some basic medical supplies just in case. Every time the pod's door hissed slightly from the wind, her heart jumped. She felt a mix of fear and curiosity. Who was this man and what had brought him here? As night fell, the twin suns dipped below the horizon, leaving the sky deep violet. Tiny bioluminescent creatures hovered in the air like floating lanterns. Lena sat beside him, exhausted but alert. She thought of the stories she had read about humans stranded on alien worlds, stories of survival, courage, and ingenuity. She realized she was living one now. Suddenly the man stirred. His fingers twitched and a low groan escaped his lips. Lena leaned closer, holding her breath. His eyes opened slowly, revealing a pale green color that shimmered in the pod's soft lights. He looked around, confused, as if waking from a long dream. "Where am I?" he whispered, voice weak. "You're safe," Lena said gently. "I found you outside. You were lying exposed on the planet." "My name is Lena. I'm here to help." The man's eyes widened slightly. "Virelia!" "The signal," he murmured. Lena frowned, unsure what he meant. "Signal? What signal?" Before he could answer, a soft rustling came from outside the pod. Lena's pulse quickened. Something or someone was moving among the glowing grass. She glanced at the man. He was still weak but alive. Her mind raced with possibilities. Was the signal he mentioned a warning? Or was it something dangerous approaching now? Lena made a decision. She would protect him. Whatever had left him exposed, whatever threat might exist, she could not let him face it alone. She tightened the pod seal, activated her defense scanners, and prepared for the unknown. As she sat beside him, watching the glowing fields of Virelia 9, Lena realized one simple truth. She had stumbled upon something far greater than a lost human. She didn't yet know what it was, but she knew her choices in the coming hours could change the fate of not just one man, but possibly the entire planet. And so, under the twin suns' fading light, humanity's courage and determination began to shine in the face of the unknown. The night on Virelia 9 was alive with quiet energy. The twin moons cast soft shadows across the glowing grass, and tiny floating creatures hovered like gentle lanterns. Inside her research pod, Lena watched the man carefully. His breathing was steady now, but his eyes darted around the small space, filled with confusion and fear. He tried to sit up, but Lena gently pressed her hand on his shoulder. "Don't move too fast," she said. "You're safe here. You've been lying outside for hours. You need rest." The man's green eyes, strikingly unusual, narrowed as he studied her. I don't understand," he whispered. "How did I get here? Who are you?" "I'm Dr. Lena Kaur," she replied. "I'm a scientist studying the plants and creatures of this planet. I found you outside. You were exposed, alone." She paused, watching for his reaction. "Are you hurt?" He shook his head slowly. "No, not hurt, but something is happening. The signal, it's active again." Lena frowned. "Signal? What signal? What are you talking about?" The man's gaze shifted, unfocused, as if he were trying to remember something important. "The device, hidden beneath the valley, it's waking. The plants, they are reacting. They are changing." Lena's heart quickened. She had noticed unusual behavior in some of the local flora. Plants moving subtly, small creatures avoiding certain areas. But she had not realized the scope. "Device, valley? Explain, slowly," she urged. "My name is Elias Varn," he said, his voice gaining strength. I was studying alien technology. There is a device on this planet, ancient, left by beings long gone. If it activates, it can control the ecosystem, even destroy life if misused. I was trying to stop it, but..." His voice trailed off. Lena felt a chill. "But someone left you outside? Exposed? Why?" Elias shook his head, frustration and fear mingling in his expression. Humans, others who want to use the device as a weapon. I escaped, but they tracked me. I didn't know where to hide. I couldn't survive on my own for long." Lena studied him carefully. His story was incredible, almost unbelievable, yet the evidence was in his DNA, subtle modifications that hinted at experimentation. And the plants outside, the strange movement she had observed, supported his warning. She realized they had only a few hours to act before the device fully activated. "All right," she said firmly. "We work together. I know the plants and creatures here. You know the device. We protect each other, and we stop whatever this is before it gets out of control." Elias nodded, relief washing over his features. For the first time, he looked like a man ready to fight for survival, not just for himself, but for an entire planet. Suddenly, a faint vibration ran through the floor of the pod. Lena stiffened. "Did you feel that?" Elias's eyes widened. "Yes, the signal. It's near. The plants, they sense it." Outside in the glowing fields, small stalks of grass shifted rapidly, bending and twisting unnaturally. Tiny bioluminescent creatures fled in unison, forming chaotic patterns in the air. Lena realized they were witnessing the early effects of the device's activation. The ecosystem itself was responding, mutating, preparing, or perhaps defending. "We need to move," Lena said, grabbing her portable scanner and survival pack. "If the device is in the valley, we have to reach it before it fully activates. Do you know where it is?" Elias nodded, his hands trembling slightly. "I remember. A hidden valley near the northern ridge. The entrance is camouflaged by the largest grove of glowing trees. Few humans have found it, and I doubt the aliens left signs for safety. They hid it well." Lena prepared for departure. She looked back at the man lying exposed just hours before. Now he was alert, alive, and determined. She felt a spark of admiration for human resilience. Alone, he might not have survived the planet's dangers. Together, they had a chance. As they stepped outside, the cool air of Virelia 9 brushed against their suits. The alien landscape looked peaceful, but Lena knew better. Every plant, every creature could be responding to something bigger than either of them. She adjusted her visor to scan for predators. Nothing moved yet, but instinct warned her that danger could arrive at any moment. "Keep close," Lena whispered, "and stay alert. This world is beautiful, but it can be deadly." "Every move matters," Elias followed, nodding. "I've never seen humans so careful in a natural environment. Usually we rush in without thinking. You are different." Lena smiled faintly. "We survive by observing first. That's what makes us human. Our mind, our courage, our choices." As they began the trek toward the northern ridge, a subtle hum grew in the air, a low vibration, almost like a heartbeat. Lena's scanners picked up energy fluctuations she couldn't fully identify. Elias stiffened. The device is aware of us. It knows we are coming, Lena swallowed hard. Then we have no time to waste. With determination burning in her heart, she led the way through the glowing forest. Every step was a test of courage, every sound a warning. Somewhere ahead, the fate of the planet, and the proof of human ingenuity and bravery, awaited them. And for the first time since finding Elias exposed, Lena felt the thrill and fear of true adventure. Humanity had reached far into the stars, but it was moments like these, facing the unknown with courage and knowledge, that defined what it truly meant to survive and to thrive. The northern ridge of Virelia 9 rose sharply against the lavender sky, its peaks hidden in faint mist. Lena and Elias moved carefully, stepping over glowing grass that shifted beneath their feet. Every plant seemed alive in a way that made her skin tingle. The soft hum in the air grew stronger, like a heartbeat resonating through the ground. This way, Elias whispered, pointing toward a grove of towering trees. Their trunks glowed faintly, twisting upward like living towers. The valley entrance is hidden there. Few humans have found it, and the aliens designed it to be nearly invisible. Only someone who understands the ecosystem can navigate it safely. Lena nodded. She scanned the path ahead, observing how the plants bent slightly toward them and then moved aside. It was subtle, almost invisible, but she could feel the rhythm. Humanity had learned to read nature, to understand patterns, and that skill now saved them on this alien world. As they approached the grove, the hum intensified. Small creatures scuttled past, their bodies glowing like tiny stars. Some leapt into the air, circling above them before vanishing into the mist. Lena felt a mixture of awe and caution. This planet was beautiful, but it was alive in ways humans could barely comprehend. "Stay close," Lena said. "We don't know how the environment will react to us." Elias nodded, following her closely. "The device." "It manipulates ecosystems," he explained. "It can make plants grow violently, change the behavior of animals, even create storms. That's why the signal is dangerous. It's not just energy, it's influence. The planet itself responds." Lena's eyes widened. "So the planet isn't passive. It's reacting." "Yes," Elias said, his voice grim. "If the device falls into the wrong hands, humans could face disaster on many worlds. That's why I was left exposed. They wanted to stop me from warning anyone." Lena's mind raced. The idea that someone could weaponize a planet's ecosystem was terrifying. Yet here was Elias, alive and determined, relying on human ingenuity to survive and protect the planet. She felt a spark of pride. Humanity had a history of adapting to impossible situations, and now, on this alien world, that skill would be their greatest advantage. They reached the grove and entered cautiously. The glowing trunks formed a natural arch, concealing a narrow path that descended into a hidden valley. Lena's scanners detected faint energy readings, pulses of power that matched Elias's description of the device. "This way," Elias said, leading her down a twisting path. "The device is close. We must be careful. The plants will try to slow us, or worse." Almost immediately, Lena noticed subtle movements. Vines rose from the ground, curling toward them. Small floating spores drifted in the air, shimmering with energy. She raised her hand, activating her scanner to analyze the flora. "They're reacting to our presence," she whispered. "Not hostile yet, but aware," Elias nodded. "The device senses life near it. It's part of the planet's defense. We need to move quickly but carefully. One wrong step." His voice trailed off. They continued, moving in sync with the rhythm of the plants. Lena used her knowledge to predict how the flora would react, ducking under twisting vines and stepping over glowing roots. Elias followed, relying on her instincts while guiding her toward the device. Finally, they reached the valley. It was breathtaking and intimidating. Towering crystals grew from the ground, humming with energy. Streams of glowing water wound through the landscape, and plants twisted unnaturally, forming barriers and corridors. At the center, a massive structure pulsed with light, a device of alien design, intricate and complex. Unlike anything Lena had ever seen, Elias approached it cautiously. "This is it," he said. "The device controls everything here. If it activates fully, the valley will become a living weapon. We must shut it down before that happens." Lena studied the structure. Its surface shimmered with energy, reacting to their presence. She felt a surge of determination. Humanity had faced impossible odds before, and now on a distant planet she would prove again that courage and intelligence could overcome even alien forces. Elias turned to her. I can attempt to deactivate it, but I need your help. The device responds to biological input. It recognizes life forms and reacts. Your understanding of the ecosystem, your ability to predict plant behavior, that's essential. Lena took a deep breath. Then we do it together, step by step. As they prepared, the plants around the valley began to shift more aggressively. Some vines rose like walls, blocking their approach. Tiny creatures darted in unpredictable patterns. Lena adjusted her scanner, sending signals to calm the flora, while Elias studied the device's controls. The moment was tense, filled with uncertainty. Yet Lena felt a deep sense of connection, not just with Elias, but with humanity itself. Their ingenuity, their moral courage, and their ability to adapt to impossible situations were on full display. Humanity had reached the stars, but it was moments like this, facing the unknown with intelligence and bravery, that truly defined them. Ready? Elias asked, his voice steady despite the danger. Lena nodded. Let's show them what humans can do. Together they stepped closer to the alien device, their minds focused, their hearts determined. The fate of the valley, and perhaps the entire planet, rested in their hands. The alien valley pulsed with an eerie glow as Lena and Elias approached the massive device. Each beat of its light seemed to shake the ground as though the entire ecosystem shared one heartbeat. The air grew warmer, charged with static, and the plants around them twisted more violently, blocking their path. We're running out of time, Elias said, his voice tense. The device is fully waking up. Lena crouched near a cluster of glowing vines. I can calm these plants for a short time, she said, pulling a small vial from her pack. She sprayed a mist over the vines, and slowly they relaxed, opening a narrow path forward. But this won't last forever. Whatever we do, we must do it fast. They pushed forward until the towering structure loomed before them. Its surface shimmered with alien symbols, glowing brighter with each passing second. Elias placed his hand on a control panel and began working quickly. Strange shapes lit up beneath his fingers, responding to his touch. Suddenly, a sharp sound echoed through the valley, a high-pitched whistle that was not natural. Lena turned sharply. From the shadows of the grove, several figures emerged, wearing dark survival suits and carrying energy rifles. The faction, Elias whispered. Stepping back from the device, one of the figures raised a hand. Step away from the machine, he ordered. You have no idea what you're doing. Lena narrowed her eyes. And you do? She asked, her voice firm. We do, the man replied. This device can reshape entire ecosystems. With it, humanity can control dangerous planets, clear them for colonization, and expand faster than ever. You should be helping us, not standing in the way. Lena stood her ground. You would turn a living planet into a tool, she said coldly. That is not control, it's destruction. This world is alive, and it's already reacting to what you're doing. As if to prove her point, the ground rumbled violently. Vines shot up around the intruders, wrapping around their legs and forcing them to step back. The valley was defending itself. This is exactly why we need the device, the man shouted. Humans can't survive here unless we tame this planet. Elias shook his head. You don't understand. If you force the device, you will trigger a full ecological collapse. The planet will destroy itself and everything on it. The faction leader hesitated, but one of his companions aimed his rifle at Elias. Move, he growled. Lena acted quickly. She grabbed a handful of glowing spores from a nearby plant and threw them into the air. The spores burst, releasing a bright flash that stunned the attackers for a moment. Run, she shouted. Elias didn't hesitate. Together, they dashed toward the device. Lena used her scanner to send calming signals to the plants, forcing them to part just long enough for them to reach the control panel. Cover me, Elias shouted as he started working again. His hands moved fast, pressing sequences of glowing symbols. The device pulsed brighter, its hum now deafening. The faction recovered quickly and opened fire, but the valley itself seemed to fight back. Thick roots erupted from the ground, blocking their shots. Small glowing creatures swarmed around them, distracting and disorienting them. Lena ducked behind a crystal outcrop, returning fire with her small energy pistol. Not to kill, but to force the attackers back. She aimed carefully, striking the ground near their feet and forcing them to retreat behind cover. How much longer? She called to Elias. Almost there, he shouted. But the system is fighting me. It doesn't trust humans. I need one more input, biological confirmation. Lena ran to his side. Use mine, she said without hesitation. Elias nodded and pressed her hand against a glowing panel. A wave of light passed through her, as if the device was reading her mind. For a moment, the valley went completely silent. Then, with a deep, resonant sound, the device's light dimmed and the hum faded. The plant stopped moving. The air cooled and the valley seemed to take a deep breath. It worked, Elias whispered. Relief flooded his face. The device is safe. It will no longer respond to hostile commands. The faction leader stared at them in shock, then turned to his team. Fall back, he ordered bitterly. This isn't over. The group retreated into the shadows of the grove, disappearing as quickly as they had come. Lena lowered her weapon, her heart still racing. We did it, she said softly. Elias nodded, still breathing heavily. You saved this world, Lena. Without you, the device would have fallen into their hands. The valley seemed calmer now, almost peaceful. The plants glowed softly, no longer hostile. The danger had passed, for now. Lena looked around, feeling a strange connection to the world around her. We proved that humans don't just take, she said. We can protect, we can adapt, we can choose the right path. Elias smiled faintly. That's what makes us different. That's why humanity will endure. Together, they began the journey back toward Lena's pod, the stars above shining brightly. The battle was over, but their mission was far from finished. They would need to share what they had learned with the rest of humanity, and prepare for whatever came next. The twin suns of Virelia 9 rose slowly over the horizon, painting the valley in warm gold. The plants glowed softly, no longer twisting or striking. The air was calm, carrying a gentle hum that felt less threatening and more like a lullaby. Lena and Elias stood near the alien device, both exhausted but alive. It's quiet, Lena said softly, scanning the valley. Like the planet is. Resting. Elias nodded, still staring at the device. We stopped the signal. The ecosystem is stabilizing. It recognizes us now not as invaders but as guardians. Lena smiled faintly. Guardians. I like that. They began the slow trek back to her pod. The path through the glowing grove felt different this time. The plants no longer reached out to block them. Instead, they moved aside gently as though showing respect. Lena noticed tiny creatures following them curiously but not attacking. Strange, she murmured. It's like the planet knows what we did. It does, Elias replied. The device links everything here. It felt your choice, your decision to protect instead of destroy. That changed how the system sees us. When they finally reached the pod, Lena sent a secure transmission to the nearest human outpost. She reported the location of the device, the danger it posed, and the fact that it had been secured. She left no details about how to control it, knowing that information could be dangerous in the wrong hands. As she finished, Elias stepped outside, gazing toward the horizon. The faction will be back, he said quietly. People like them always come back. They'll want the power this planet offers. Then we'll be ready, Lena said firmly. We can set up a perimeter, create safe zones, teach others how to work with the planet, not against it. This world doesn't have to be a weapon, it can be a partner. Elias turned to her, a hint of hope in his expression. You really believe that? Yes, Lena replied. Humanity is more than conquest. We explore, we learn, we build. We can survive without destroying everything around us. Her words hung in the air as the first rays of sunlight bathed the pod. For a moment, the planet seemed to glow brighter, as if agreeing. Over the next few days, Lena and Elias worked tirelessly. They mapped out the valley, cataloged the alien plants, and created a small field station to monitor the device. The ecosystem began to recover. Plants grew in balanced patterns, animals returned to their normal behavior, and the air grew fresher. Elias used his knowledge to write a detailed report about the device's functions, warning human colonies about the danger of using it for war. Lena added her observations, explaining how humanity could cooperate with the planet's natural systems. When their report was transmitted, the Human Council responded with caution and respect. They promised to send a scientific team, not a military one, to study the valley under Lena's guidance. It worked, Lena said with a relieved smile. We're not just saving this world, we're teaching others how to respect it. Elias nodded. You changed everything, Lena. When you found me, I thought it was over, but you chose to help even when it was dangerous. That's what humans do best. We make choices even when they're hard. One evening, they sat outside the pod watching the two suns set. The glowing field stretched out like a sea of stars. The planet was quiet, peaceful. Lena thought back to the moment she had first seen Elias lying exposed on the glowing grass. She had not known who he was or what danger he carried, yet she had chosen to act. That single decision had led to this moment. Peace, hope, and a new beginning for both humanity and Virelia 9. "It's strange," Lena said softly. "I came here to study plants. I didn't expect to save a planet." Elias smiled. "And I didn't expect to find someone brave enough to stand against an entire faction. You proved that humanity can be more than conquerors. We can be protectors." They sat in silence for a while, letting the sounds of the alien world wash over them. The valley pulsed softly in the distance, not with danger, but with life. "This planet will remember us," Lena said finally. "And maybe," Elias replied, "the rest of humanity will remember too. What we're capable of when we choose to do what's right." As darkness fell and the bioluminescent plants lit the fields, Lena felt a deep sense of pride. Humanity had faced the unknown and prevailed, not by force but by understanding, courage, and cooperation. And somewhere, far beyond Virelia 9, other planets waited. Other challenges would come. But for now, under the twin moons and the glowing night, Lena allowed herself to rest, because she knew this was only the beginning of humanity's story among the stars.